another Zoomer Boomer Healthy Aging for Seniors, LP Seniors program. And we have some special guests today. Some of our Canada Summer Jobs people here are joining in, so welcome, thank you. And why don't we just get right into it? We're going to have Brigitte bring us right up to date with today's topic and introduce our special guest.
Ellen. So I am pleased to welcome back Vuso Moyana from Seniors Tech Services as a presenter for our Zoomer Boomer series. If you remember, Vuso joined us in August last year for an internet safety webinar, and he's back today for a follow-up. And this one is going to be more centered around phishing, and I'll let Vuso take it away and get into it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me. So it's really great to be back here again. I was here last year, and I really enjoyed spending time with you and for us to talk about online safety, which is really important. So it's great, and thank you for inviting me back. If you didn't see me the last time, my name is Vuso, and I am from a company called Seniors Tech Services. At Seniors Tech Services, we basically teach older adults how to use computers and smartphones and iPad and social media and all that. So that's what we do. So thank you. So today we're going to be talking as a follow-up to our last presentation. We're going to be talking about phishing. So we're going to we went into it a little bit last year. But now, it was part of a bigger presentation, but today we'll just go and narrow it down to phishing emails and talk about related online threats as well. You might have, received emails or received text messages that you may or may not be able to recognize as suspicious. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And then we'll look at how we can protect ourselves as well against phishing. If anything happens and I disappear or anything like that, please don't worry. Just stay on for a few minutes. If I get disconnected, and I will reconnect again. Today, we have a fairly small group, so that gives us more opportunity to have a more intimate discussion. So if you have questions, please feel free to put those questions in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself, and then you can ask me as I go along. So if you want me to repeat something, please just feel free. And if you don't understand anything, that's okay as well. I will also send out a handout which you will receive, and you'll be able to read it later on. And if you have any questions after that, please feel free to send me an email as well. My email address will be on that handout. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. This is our agenda. We're going to be looking at what is phishing and why we are vulnerable to phishing. We'll look at the different types of phishing emails that we receive. Things like email spoofing, impersonation, and extortion. If you don't know some of the words, don't worry. We'll go into them as we go through the presentation. We'll look at other variations of phishing, which are, fraudulent text messages, telephone calls, and e-transfer. We know that there's a lot of e-transfer fraud going on these days. And then we'll look at strategies to protect yourself. So things that you can do on your email and on your phone to be able to protect yourself and to be able to recognize that you are not on a fake website, that you are on the real website. Now, throughout this presentation, I'll try to break things down to make them very simple. So this is what is called a beginner's class. We're not going to go into detailed or high-level stuff. We're just going to try and make it very simple and I'll try my best to use simple language, no technical jargon, and try to define the words and everything as best as I can. But if you don't understand anything that I say, or you come across a word that you're not sure about, please feel free to ask me as well. And lastly, we'll also look at what you can do if you become a victim, because these guys are really smart, right? Even I clicked on a link once and I thought I had won a holiday in Florida. So even people who are very, very smart, like doctors and PhD professors, whatever, they get hacked as well. And they also get tricked sometimes. So don't feel bad if it has happened to you, because sometimes people feel that, oh, how could I be so stupid? How could I do this? But really, anyone can become a victim of scammers and hackers. And but in this lesson, what we want to look at is how we can take personal precautions ourselves to protect ourselves, and to reduce the chances of losing our information to hackers. We know that even big organizations like banks, like government organizations have been hacked. We've seen that on TV, we've seen that on the news, but there are things that we can do to protect ourselves and protect our sensitive information as much as possible, and reduce the chances of it happening to us. So this is what we're going to be looking at, how we can protect ourselves against hackers and scammers. So let's first of all define what is phishing and why does it happen. Well, phishing really was a term that was first used in 1996. And they tried to define it by looking at the features of it that work in some way, that describe the way it works. And they said, it's just a scam in which a person is online and then he is tricked or duped into revealing personal information, or confidential information, which is then used by the scammer illegally. And, sometimes they will use this just to get information, but sometimes they will also use this method to also cause damage to our computer systems or to control systems, that are sophisticated or that may be running electricity grids or anything like that. And another question that really struck me was, why are we so vulnerable, when to these phishing emails? And I went on the internet and I did some research, and I found that, these villains or these scammers try to use emotional tactics in order to put us into automatic mode so that we bypass our logic and then click their link. They may also appeal to our biases and emotions. And once we get into automatic mode, then we pay less attention and we click on the link. Often you'll find that you may receive special offers, and this really appeals to our emotion not to lose out. I don't want to miss this. So we have this fear in us that, a fear of missing out, FOMO, that's what it means. So you really go for it quickly, and whilst you're in automatic mode, and you don't take time to think about it. So that is the psychological side of it, apparently, that makes them succeed when they send us these emails. So we are all vulnerable, like I said. There is no one who is very, very smart or anything like that who is not vulnerable. We can all become victims. And we want to look at ways in which we can reduce the chances of being victims. In fact, what I found out when I was going online for this presentation was that Canada was the fourth hardest hit country by cyber attacks in December 2021. So you can imagine that in the whole world, we are number 4. And there was a lot of money that was lost to cybercrime. In 2022 alone, we lost $332.74 million. That's a lot of money if you think about it. And an interesting fact that I found there as well is that 70% of phishing emails are opened by their targets. So they're constantly changing their tactics and bringing us more and more different emails. And unfortunately, 70% of the emails that are sent are actually opened. So these are the types of phishing emails that we're going to be looking at today. Not only the phishing emails, but other variations as well. We will look at impersonation. We'll look at email spoofing, where they make us think that it's somebody else or another organization. We'll look at extortion. We'll also look at invoice fraud, where we receive a fraudulent or invoice from a company that we may or may not deal with. We'll look at attachment links. So what happens is they might send you an attachment, and then you click on the link, and then they're able to get into your computer that way. We'll look at fake websites that are created. You might be interested to know that during COVID, when people were applying for funds for relief, there were about 1,000 websites, fake CRA websites that were closed down by the government. And then we'll look at tech support requests as well that may not be legitimate. So let's go right into our presentation. Throughout the presentation, you're going to see some PowerPoint slides, and at some point, I'm going to stop as well, and then I'm going to show you how to do certain things, either on my iPad or on my computer. And the first thing that we're going to look at today is impersonation. It's also called man in the middle, and this is when they try to trick us by intercepting messages between two people. So it's very common, and it happens very common in organizations, whether small or big. But even if you are part of a nonprofit organization or a volunteer role, you may find that, or even just between you and your friend, they may intercept your emails, and then they try to trick you into thinking that you're talking to your friend or you're talking to the person in the organization, right? And then when they start a discussion with you, they can ask you simple questions. How is the weather? What's going on? And then, all of a sudden you have to be careful, because you will find that they will ask for personal information like, oh, can you give me your login information for this app? Or can you do this for me on your computer? And then you fall for it because you think you are talking to the right person that you've been talking to. Their email address is the same, but that person has actually been hacked, or they have hacked both of you. So we have to be careful when we're talking to someone online, even if it's somebody that we know. Watch the tone and requests that are coming from him, and ask yourself, hey, would Alan ask me for this? Would he say this? If he starts asking you for your credit card information, then you might want to call and ask. Email spoofing is basically when they try to trick you into thinking that you are talking to somebody you know or an organization that you work with often. And that organization, for instance, might be your bank, or it might be another organization that you deal with regularly. And in this case, they want to trick you into revealing information or clicking on the link and then allow them to get into your computer. And the most common examples of these come from the banking sector. And this is where we're going to go for our first example. So this is an example of a spoofing email where they are trying to pretend to be the Royal Bank. And you'll notice that there they have the logo of the Royal Bank. And what they're trying to do is they send you this email and they are requesting you to reset your password. They're telling you that there's something wrong and we want you to validate or reset your password. And then when you click on the link, you are taken to a fake Royal Bank website. This is an actual example of an email that went out a few years ago, and then people would click on it. They're taken to the website. They put in their bank card number and password, but it's actually going to the scammer. So these online banking scams are very popular, and it's not only the Royal Bank, but any other bank, TD, CIBC, all the other banks, not only in Canada, but all over the world have experienced this, where they create these spoofing emails. Another one that we saw a few years ago was where they used Canada Post. And you'll notice in all these examples that they always use the exact logo of the organization. So that way they can trick you and gain your confidence, so that you think that you are dealing with the right organization. If you look at it, you think it's the exact thing. But there are some things that you can look at that can tell you that it's not, or it's a fake email. The first thing you'll notice is at the top left is the email address where it comes from. In this case, it says force@sharepointmonk.org. It's not even Canada Post. And then you'll notice as well, pay attention to the grammar in the email. In this case, you'll notice that they are addressing you as, or addressing this person as Dear Client Rob. And yet, most of these organizations, which are, federal or official or semi-government, they will always put in your name exactly as you should be addressed. So here it says, Dear Client Rob, and then look at that. It says, we noticed a parcel was left at our office. Now, normally, you know that if Canada Post can't find you, they're going to leave the parcel. They're not going to leave the parcel, but they will leave a note on your door. And they will tell you the exact post office where you should go. But these guys, they just wrote, a parcel was left at our office. It's not specific. And then they go on in the last sentence to say, we hereby advise that you get the receipt of the parcel and verify the correct address for us to bring your packet to you. So you can see that already there's a grammatical issue here. And it's possible that some of these scams are actually sent by people who may not be in Canada, but may also be in Canada, but make a lot of grammatical mistakes. Again, the aim is that you click on the link and then you enter your information, and that information can be taken and used for fraudulent purposes. If you have a Netflix account or an account with any other organization that they take money out of your account every month automatically, you may receive a message on your email that tells you that you have to update your billing information. And in most cases, you might have, they might have your credit card on file, or they might have your bank account on file. It might be for Hydro, it might be for your cell phone. In this case, they are pretending to be Netflix. And then if you have Netflix, you click on it and then you give them your information. But what actually they're trying to do there is just to trick you. Even though the name looks exactly like you see on the Netflix website or on your Netflix on your TV, you have to be really careful when you get these emails. One which I have seen recently as being more prominent with our clients is where the scammers are claiming to be Microsoft. And it comes in different variations. In this case, for instance, they are saying that your account may be closed and you need to click on a link in order to go and reactivate it. Sometimes a variation of this one that I've seen as well is where they say you have run out of storage. You need to click on a link in order to increase your storage or to keep your account, or you're going to lose all your emails, or you're going to lose all your pictures and documents. And once you go there, then you provide them with your personal information, and that is used for fraudulent purposes as well. So we have to be careful about those. And if you are not sure, you do need to contact either Microsoft, or you do need to contact your bank. Just call them or visit the local branch or call the 1-800 number, or even check with the post office. Let's move on to a different type of scam, but that is also aimed at gaining either our financial information or even to gain our personal information. And this is extortion and ransomware. And in this scam, they will typically try to get control of your laptop or your phone or your iPad, and then lock it up. And then they will close it off so that you can't access it. And after that, when they have blocked access to your computer or your phone or your iPad, they will request you to send them money via Bitcoin. And this is why it's really important when we receive emails to read those emails and not just don't click on the link, because by clicking on these links, you are giving them permission to get into your computer and take control of it. Sometimes, of course, they don't even need you to do anything or even click on a text message, right? They're able to just go into your device if it's not protected or they have sophisticated software, and then they're able to take control of it. And once it's blocked, it's really bad, because you can lose your pictures. If you have your wedding pictures in there, you might have your tax documents, you might have pictures that you don't have anywhere else, right? Your grandson's pictures are in there. You want to make sure that you secure them or back them up somewhere else besides your device. And then in most cases, you have to send money to them, and then they will be able to allow you to gain access. Sometimes there's no guarantee. You will send them the money, Bitcoin, and then they delete everything, and you still can't get hold of them. Invoice fraud is another one. And during the last provincial elections, one party that fell victim to this were the Ontario PC party, and this is a situation where you receive an invoice for services that you have never asked for, or you might have dealt with the company before a long time ago, or you might be a member of that political party, but it's a fraudulent email or it's a fraudulent text message where they send you an invoice for payment. Sometimes as well, it might be that they send it to you and they say, we want to update your information. So just verify your credit card information and your name and address. Especially small businesses have been vulnerable to that, but individuals as well. As you can see in this example, they were sending letters to during election time, pretending to be raising money for Doug Ford. And when you receive this email, or even if you find it in your letterbox, you must be careful and check to make sure that it's genuine. You notice that again, they have used the exact same logo, the appropriate logo, and they give you options on how you can pay, and everything looks genuine, right? But we have to be careful about that one. Here are two more examples that we have seen as well with many of our clients, where they send you a demand for payment, and sometimes they will pretend that it's connected with your antivirus program. And you may find that someone who has an antivirus program on their computer, they might have McAfee, and then they get it they think that, oh, I have to pay it, so this is protecting me. And often some clients don't even know what kind of antivirus they have on their computer. So when it comes up, they will just pay it, but they don't know that they are sending the payment to the wrong company. And if you have bought your computer from Best Buy before, you might get a fake invoice that purports to tell you that you have a subscription that needs to be paid as well. Or even if you have used Staples, and it's not only like computer stores or that provide accessories. There have been instances where people have received these requests for payment from scammers pretending to be companies like Home Depot and so forth. So we have to be careful that just because it looks exactly the same, and you might have had some kind of dealings with the company before, that it is not a fraudulent email. Here's another one, which is quite popular, which is an attachment. And what happens in this case is that they will send you an attachment, they'll send you an email, and in that email, you will see a very faint invoice within that email that is an attachment that is attached to the email. And in this case, in this example, for instance, they put in a fake DHL invoice. But when you click on the invoice and you try to download it, it doesn't actually work. Or you download it, and when you try to open it, you can't open it. So the trick here is that attachment has a Trojan, or it has another virus connected to it. And all they want you to do is just to click on download. And then when you press download, you are actually putting the virus on your computer. So we have to be careful about that one. Now, you might have heard of the dark web. What is the dark web? Well, the dark web is a website where passwords and other illegal activity occur. The dark web itself was originally created not as an illegal site, but as an anonymous site by the US military, the defense industry in the United States. And they thought, we'll create this website, the dark web, which is accessible only with special browsers. You can't go to Google and go into the dark web. The normal websites that we go to, like, Google or Yahoo search or Microsoft Edge or all those kinds of search engines and browsers, you can't use those to access the dark web because it needs specialized browsers. So when they created it, they thought, it's absolutely safe. And some organizations used it as well, for activism, because they wanted to avoid government censorship. They didn't like, having websites where the government can see what you're doing. But over the years, it has evolved. And now you find that in the dark web, you find that there's a lot of things that are going there that are illegal. For instance, when our email addresses and passwords are stolen, where do you find them? They are found on the dark web. That's where they sell them. Things like our driver's license numbers, even our social insurance numbers. But what happens is now some scammers will send you an email and tell you that, hey, your information was stolen. They're pretending to be nice, right? All your information was stolen and your information is being sold on the dark web. Click here and we'll be able to help you to fix it. So we have to be careful every time when we receive these emails because they are appealing to what emotion? They're appealing to fear. They're trying to put fear into our hearts and think that if I don't act, then I might be in trouble because my information is being sold on the dark web. But there are ways that we can check to find out if our information is available on the dark web. And we'll look at those websites and be able to check it as well. If you have an iPhone, you are able to find out as well very easily and free of charge if your information is on the dark web. The next one that we'll look at is e-transfer fraud. And what has happened in the past is once they created the e-transfer, it became very easy for us, right, to send money to people online and also to receive money online. And it's very, very easy because you can even do it on your phone whilst you're on the go. And all you need to know is the other person's email address or their phone number. And then they get a text notification and they can deposit the money. But what scammers have done now is they use this system to defraud people. And what happens is you might receive an email that tells you that you have an e-transfer waiting for you. And typically it might even have an attachment, or it might just have links to different banks like Bank of Montreal, RBC, where you are supposed to click to deposit your money. Sometimes they will pretend that the money has been sent to you from the CRA. And so you think, oh, it's money from the government, it might be legitimate, and then you click on it. So you have to be careful about that one. If you receive any money or any e-transfer from someone, even if it looks like it comes from your friend, your best friend, an e-transfer, if you were not expecting that money, then you have to call them and ask them what it's about. If it looks like it comes from the government, just know that the government or the CRA will never send you an e-transfer, because once you try to deposit the money, you're going to be taken to a fake website. And then once you log in there, you are giving them your email address and password. Okay, so now we have looked at different examples and we have seen the different types of emails that we can receive that are fraudulent. And so the next question then is, what can I do? How can I protect myself from all these fraudulent email? And there are different options that you can do. You can go right in your email itself. There are things that you can do like reporting the email as spam, or even reporting it as a phishing email. You can block the sender right in your email there, or instead of deleting or blocking one email, you can also create a rule or filter. And those email rules or filters allow you to be able to tell your email provider, whether it's Gmail or Yahoo or anyone, that if you receive an email like this, I want you to delete it or send it to spam. Unsubscribing, if you are receiving a lot of emails from organizations, especially charitable organizations that you might have worked with before or not, you want to make sure that you unsubscribe from them. Otherwise, there'll just be too many, and those organizations, you may in the end even click on links that you are not sure about. There are third-party email filters as well. There are different companies and apps that offer apps that say we can help you to be able to filter those emails, and even your antivirus programs allow you or tell you that. So you can look them up and try them out as well. But you must make sure that when you see a suspicious email, you don't just leave it there. You have to do something about it and delete it. Some people, they find that it's just overwhelming now. I've just got too many emails coming in. And what they do is they open a second email address. And what they do once they have the second email address, they will share it with their closest friends and closest organizations that they deal with, but they won't just give it to anyone. to the hydro company, to the telephone company or anything. They just keep that second email within a small circle. And that helps to some degree to be able to protect you. And then, of course, you can provide your device against malicious spam. An important part of that, if you have a Windows computer and it doesn't have advanced protection, is to download an antivirus program. And so these are different things that you can do, but depending on the type of device that you have, it may be, let's say you have, we all have different devices. Some people have an iPhone, some people may have a Windows computer, some people may have BlackBerry, and even the email providers, right? You might be using Yahoo, you might be using Simpatico, you might be using something else. So you have to make sure that you can do it differently. You can block emails differently for different providers. So you'd need to check with them. What I'm going to do now is I am going to just look at some of these ways that we talked about, and we will have a small demonstration of how we can block emails and do different things. So what you're looking at now is you're looking at my laptop, and I have a Gmail email address. Now, you might have a Simpatico email address, you might have a Yahoo email address, it might be different, right? But you can, I've also put a link in the handout that can show you how you can do it for different systems, even like for an iPhone and an Android device. But here's our Gmail. So let's look at our Gmail and see what we can do. The first thing is, well, we've got lots of emails coming in, right? And if you look at this, I've got a company called Scribd. It's been sending me lots of email. And when you open each email, and this is the same if you are using Yahoo, if you're using Outlook or Hotmail or anything, just look for an option which has 3 dots, or an option that allows you to be able to open a menu. And you'll notice here that you can actually block the email. You have options here to block the email. So you can block it, you can report it as spam, or you can report it as phishing as well. So all these options allow you to be able to block the email right within the email itself, and also report it for phishing. When you use any of these these options, like this one here, which I have pressed report phishing, it will tell me what phishing is, and then it will also be sent to their security or fraud department, and the organization won't be able to send you any more emails. So the first step would be to block the organization, and then it won't be able, you can report it phishing or blocking, and then they won't be able to send you any more messages. And in future, if you want to unblock them, if you felt that it was wrong, you can do that as well. In addition, you can also set up your email address so that you can block it automatically, so that those emails don't actually get into your email in the first place. So you can set up what are called filters, and it depends on which email provider you are using. But you can look at the different settings on your email. If you are using Gmail, you'll see that here, right in the email itself, when I press those 3 dots, I've got an option here that says filter messages like these. And when I click that, it will give me the option to say, a message. You can set up the filters either using the subject, or, if it has the words, or it doesn't have the words, And then here I'm just going to say all the emails that come from hello@script.com. I want to create a filter. A filter is basically an instruction. It's also called rules if you are using Outlook or anything like that. It's basically an automatic instruction that says, if I receive an email with this, it must do this. And so here I get these options, which says skip the inbox. When you receive that email, mark as read, star it, forward it. And here I'm just going to press the option that says delete it. And that delete it means that every time when that email comes, it will automatically be deleted. So I'll press create filter. And next time when these guys try to send me an email, if they are not blocked or anything, it will go straight, it will be deleted straight away. I won't even see it. You could even set up the filter and put a term in it. Like every time I receive an email that says you have won, for instance, you want to be able to put in a filter that says I have won, and you know that these are fraudulent ones, that they will be deleted. So, for instance, here I have won. You can just write I have won a gift card. So you might be getting a lot of emails where you are being told, you have won something. And so you want to be able to put that filter in, and then you'll be able to close it. It's a great and easy way to be able to block those emails if they're coming in. And like I said, it's not only Gmail. You can do it with any provider that you use. If you are using Yahoo or you are using any provider, this feature is available to you as well. So blocking emails is really a great way and a great start to be able to do it. What happens sometimes is that they may change their email address, but once you put in the filters as well, it's really one great option. Now, are there any of us who use an iPad? Do any of you guys use an iPad or a tablet? Okay. Yeah. So Debbie. So, if you have an iPad, or if you have any other tablet, or even your phone, you can also block emails there. And there are many ways you can do it, even if you have an Android tablet. But I'll just show you quickly how it works on the iPad. And on the iPad, you not only are able to block it, but you can also delete all the emails that you had in the past that came from that person or that organization. So I'm going to open my email on my iPad in the Mail app. You can see that's the one over there with the blue and white. And when I open my email, I'm looking at all these emails that have come in, and I say, hey, you know what? I want to block this one here, Coursera. I don't want to ever receive emails from them again. And in addition, I want to delete all the emails that they have sent me. So you can do that easily by just going to opening the email, and then you tap where it came from. So the name of the person where it came from. So in this case, it says from Coursera. And when you tap on it, you will notice that a little menu comes up at the bottom here, and you'll see that there is an option there for you to block this contact. So I'm going to block this contact, and they won't be able to send me emails again. But in addition, I want to delete all the emails that they have ever sent me. And you'll notice that there's an option here that says search mail for contact, search mail for contact. And when you tap on search mail for contact, it's going to show all the emails that they have ever sent you. All the emails that they have ever sent me are now coming up right there. And you can even do this on your iPhone as well. And so to block those emails, you don't have to do them. You can do them one by one, or to delete them if you want. If you want to delete all of them at the same time, you just put two fingers on the first one, and then you move your finger down, and then it's going to highlight all the emails like that. You have to put two fingers. And then when you get to the end of those emails, you can easily delete them by pressing the trash can. So you'll notice there's a trash can at the bottom left of the screen. And when I tap on the trash can, all those emails are gone. So I didn't highlight all of them right to the end because we could spend the whole day. I've been receiving emails from these guys for ages. But that's an easy way for you to be able to block those emails, and then make sure that you delete all of them if you want to delete them. So you can also do it even if you use any other app, like if you have the Gmail app, or you might have the Outlook app, or you might have which other one? Your Yahoo app. You can go in there, and when you open your emails, you'll be able to see where you can press block to block them as well. Because I know that we all have different emails. Not all of us use Gmail, but we want to make sure that we're able to delete them, and then we'll be able to use our devices safely and receive our emails safely. So are there any questions? I'm just going to stop at this point before I go on, and I'm going to see if there are any questions that you might have. Oh, I see there's something in the chat from Alan. Okay. If a trusted email address accidentally gets on the iCloud.com block list, how can we receive those emails again? Okay, so you can log into your iCloud and see blocked emails. If you so for those who don't understand the question, let me just explain what he is asking. What happens is when you use a Mac computer, you can access you can access your email through the app that is on that Mac computer. And I'll just share my screen here quickly. And you can see that this is the email that we use on the Mac. So I don't know how many people have got Macs, but when you go on the Mac, you are able to go to your mail preferences, and then you are able to see different factors there, your accounts, your rules that you might have set up as well. I talked about rules when we were saying, you can set up an automatic filter, and you want to go there and just see if you can delete all the rules that you might have here. And then if you have any other rules that might be there, then you'd be able to restart or re-engage it again. You can also log into the iCloud.com website. And once you go into the iCloud.com website, you are able to go to your emails there. And then you'll be able to go to the section where you can also check your blocked emails and rules within the iCloud.com. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Is there anybody else with a question at this time? Okay, that's great. Okay, so okay, what if they only own an iPad? Thanks, Alan. So if somebody owns an iPad only, you have to go to iCloud on the iPad itself. Does anybody here have an iPad only and they don't have access to a Mac or a Windows computer? So what you would do with that is you simply go to the website on your iPad. So open Safari and then type iCloud.com, and then you'd be able to go and see all your iPad accounts there. So we'll just move on, and if anybody would like to me to help them with that, I'll be able to help as well. So in the handout that you will receive, you are going to see a link that I put there, which tells you how to block and email and report emails for different email providers. Okay, so let's move on to other forms of phishing. So we talked about emails, but we know that we also receive a lot of calls, which is called voice phishing. And basically with voice phishing is when you receive a lot of phone calls, fraudulent phone calls. You probably receive them just like everybody else. And they are trying to do the same thing. They want to put fear or give you the feeling that you want something. For instance, they may say there's a warrant for your arrest, or your bank account will be suspended. And then they want you to provide them with your personal information, your bank account or your credit card, or even they may say, we want you to send money. We're calling from the CRA. You need to send money, and you need to send it in cryptocurrency, or you need to send it in gift cards, Amazon gift cards. But what you should know is that the CRA will never request payment in cryptocurrency. Besides the phone calls that we get, of course, we also receive a lot of text messages, a lot of fraudulent text messages. And sometimes they may even come on WhatsApp. They may even come on Messenger. I get them all over the place. So you have to be careful about these text messages. The trick that they have been using that is really popular these days is where they tell you that they failed to make a delivery, or your parcel is waiting at customs, or even just the good old trick that they try to use is change your passwords. And as usual, they will put in a link in there for you to click in order to update your information. So we have to be careful about these. And there are some examples of recent texts that have been used to try to trick people into doing this. You can see that, in the first case on the left, they're trying to appeal to our emotion to want to win something. So they say you have won a prize, and they hope that you will click. And then, in the middle, you'll see that they're talking about Prime membership, Amazon Prime. You have to update your information as well. And then, of course, they failed to make a delivery. A popular one that we have seen as well with many of our clients is where they send a text message and they tell them that there's been a charge on your Visa for $3,000. Press yes or call this number to confirm. And then they call that number and say, what? There was a charge on my credit card? And then they call that number and they give the person their credit card, not knowing that they're actually talking to a scammer. Another tactic that you can use, that we talked about blocking emails, is actually to block callers on your cell phone. So you can also block unwanted calls on your cell phone, or they will go straight to a voicemail. There are some third-party providers who have apps, either in the App Store if you have an iPhone, or in the Play Store if you have an Android phone like a Samsung, where they say that they can help you to, if you download the app and add it, they can stop the scam calls. Some of them work, and some of them, they do allow some scam calls to come in. But here are some tips that you can use in order to deal with the spam calls. The do not call registry is still there. I know many of us say, oh, do not call registry doesn't work, right? But it's still there, and I am still registered on it, and I encourage you to register as well, at least it stops some of the calls. Of course, they can't stop the calls that come from people who are overseas, even if they're pretending to be in Canada and they're using a local number. If you answer the phone though, and you see that, they're telling you things like press 1 to accept, or they want you to say yes, just to say the word yes, you have to be careful and just hang up immediately, because they're trying to take over. They might be able to take over your number or do something. So whatever you do, do not provide any kind of personal information. And of course, if you talk to the person, you'll find that they're always in a rush. They always want to try and say, hey, give me your information right now, whether it's credit card information or your driver's license, but don't feel pressured at all. So don't feel that you have to be pressured. And please, there are some calls that you might find when you look at your phone. It's pretty obvious that this is not a Canadian number and you are not expecting it. Just don't answer the call. But what happens as well with our phones is that you can actually set up your phone so that it receives phone calls from people in your phone list only, in your contacts. The danger with that, of course, is that sometimes you'll find that once you set that up, then, if somebody is coming, like a plumber coming to your home, you don't know their phone number, they call you and it's not on your contact list, what's going to happen? The phone, the call will go to voicemail automatically. So that's a kind of risk if you set that up. But you can set it up whether you have a Samsung phone or an iPhone by just going into your settings, and then you just go to the phone settings and you can set it up so that when someone calls you who is not on your contacts list, it goes straight to voicemail. If you guys receive text messages or you receive phone calls that you want to block, you can block them as well very quickly and easily on your phones as well. And I'll just show you quickly how you can do that. For instance, this is my iPad, but it could be a phone, and it could be an iPhone, it could be a Samsung phone, an LG phone. When you go to your text messages and you receive a text message from anyone, you can just go to the text message, like you see this one here. This is a fraudulent one. It says my exercises. I never signed up for any exercises with anybody. So I can easily go there, and then I can just tap at the top where it says the number 205-236-0528, and you'll see that it gives you certain options there. And if you are looking at a Samsung phone or any device or even an iPhone, you'll see where it says info. That it might have an I, or it might say info like on the right side. And then when you tap there, that's where you are going to get a chance to block a caller. So I had blocked this one, but you will see something there that says block this caller, and you can tap on it and then you'll be able to block it. And that allows you to block not only people who call you, but people who text you as well. Sometimes, of course, these guys will change, and then they will start using a different phone number after that. But it's a useful feature to be able to block some of these guys. And of course, as usual, you want to make sure that you don't click on the links or any suspicious links that may be there. Okay, so let's see, how much time do we have? I think we still have a little bit of time. Okay, let's move on to something else and have a look. And I'll also look at some of the questions in the chat as we go along. So one thing that you have to be careful about, we talked about fake websites. So we have to be careful when we go online. And this might not be like you receive an email and you click on it or anything like that. but you might just go online on Google or Edge or Yahoo search or any search engine, and you type in a website. So the question becomes, how do I know I'm at the real website and I'm at a fake website? This one here has the same logo. They have everything exactly the same. So how do I know? And there are different things that you can look at, because these scammers, they always either include a link to a fake website, or they may put a pop-up or anything on your screen. So you want to make sure that you look at the at the website address to make sure that you are at the correct site. For instance, on the left, it says amazonx.com. You want to go to amazon.com. Never mind the fact that everything looks the same. So we want to pay attention and not stay in automatic mode and just click and go. You can see on the right side, they put an example as well, where XYZ company, and then we have XYZ company, which is a fake. It says xyz.com. So you want to check the website to make sure it's the correct one. Also look for a lock. So if it is a banking website or any website, it should have a lock just besides the actual email address, where it will show that it is a safe site, because many of these scammers will try to throw in websites at us that are not safe. Another one that you have to be careful about is the tech support request. And sometimes this may come as a phone call. It may come as a text message on your phone, and they tell you that there's something wrong with your phone. You have to fix it. But most often what I see with our clients is where they send them a message or a pop-up on their screen that says their computer has been blocked. Like this one here, which you can see on the screen, it is an actual one which I took a picture of from one of my clients. And the computer was even talking to her and say, you have to call this number in order to get your computer fixed. There's a big problem with it. And when you call them, you'll be talking to a scammer. And usually they will take control of your computer and then start fixing things and doing things. And at some stage, then they say, we've locked up your computer, you need to pay us. Or they will just demand payment, and they say, before we finish, this is not covered, this is not free, you have to pay. Sometimes they don't even ask for a lot of money. They might even just say $200, where the repairs might have cost $1,000, and then all they want is for you to get your credit card information and then get your access to your device. So we have to be careful about these tech support pop-ups. And there are many other pop-ups that you will get, that you will see as you go along, that you might encounter on your computer or on your phone. You might, just see where they say you have a virus, and it looks like it's Windows Defender, it's the real thing, but it's not them. If you see that kind of thing, go into your settings and check your antivirus program and do a scan there. Toronto Hydro also had one where people were sending messages to say, you have a refund, right? Or even they'll appeal to our emotions, where we like to win things, and then they will say, hey, you've won, congratulations, you've won an Amazon gift card. So we have to be very careful about those things as we go along. At this stage, we're almost at the end. We're going to look at a malware infection. So what happens after you have been infected? You try to be careful, but somehow you made a mistake and now you've been infected. And often people will ask me, okay, what is malware? So malware simply stands for malicious software. And it is just a file or a code that they will put on your computer when you click on the link. And what they try to do is get you to click on the link. It's downloaded to your computer or tablet or phone, and then they can control your device remotely. When you notice things like your home page has changed, or even on your Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, you've got certain extensions that appear there, you must be very, very careful that you might have a pop-up. You might have this malicious software there. So you might also notice as well that the computer or your phone or any device is very slow. All of a sudden, it is sluggish or freezing. And even the programs are just opening and closing by themselves, or you've run out of space. All of a sudden, your phone tells you that you've run out of space. You didn't take many pictures, you didn't do much, or your computer, you don't have a lot of documents in there, but it's saying you run out of space. So that might be having a malicious software on it. And you might also start getting a lot of pop-ups. Once you see pop-ups coming that you don't know, you have to be careful about that, or emails that are being sent without your consent. Often they will delete files or folders. They may delete your documents or folders. You knew that it was there all the time, but you now can't find it. Or even you might look at the desktop or even on your phone. You open your phone and all of a sudden you've got little icons that you don't know anything about or where they came from. So if you see any strange programs or desktop icons, you have to make sure that you delete them and also delete your cookies. So these are all signs that you have to be aware of. And if you see anything like that, please just be careful with them. You have to make sure that you watch what you download to your computer. Every time when you receive a document, please make sure that you are completely, it's something from someone who you completely trust. Your software on your computer, make sure is always up to date. The good part is that our computers update themselves automatically. So we are always good in that respect. But you can also check yourself to make sure that it's updated and is also set up to automatically update. And of course, always be careful about links that are sent to you by email, even if they appear to be coming from a friend or from an organization that you trust. It's really important to keep not only our devices updated, like the operating system, like Windows 10 or Windows 11 updated, or even the Mac software or your Apple software or your Android device software, but you have to keep the apps updated as well. So there are two things on our phones. There's the operating system and there's also the apps themselves. And if you have some apps that have not been updated or that you have not used in a long time, it is recommended that you delete them. If you want to check on a Windows computer, if your computer is up to date, you go to Settings, and then you go to Windows Update. Settings, and then Windows Update. And then there's a little button there that says Check for Updates. If you want to go on your Mac, you can go to your little Apple, which is at the top left, and then you just go into Preferences, and then you'll see Software Update. Even on your phone, whether you have an iPhone or an LG, when you go to your settings, you will find a section for software update. And you just go there, and then you'll be able to check if your phone is up to date. The good thing, like I said, is that most of our devices are already set up to be able to update automatically. And once it's connected to Wi-Fi, it does update. But it doesn't do any harm for you to check yourself whenever you can. Here's an important part of the way we can protect ourselves online. And it's not only against phishing, but against viruses and many other dangers in the online world. Passwords. So passwords are really our first line of defense against hackers, because the more difficult a password is, then it makes it really difficult for them to get in. And in addition, we can add what is called two-factor authentication. Now, if you have a password, you want to make sure that it is, you've probably had this before. It has a capital, small letters, numbers, and a symbol, a special character. And, it is recommended by some that it should be 10. Some people say 12 and more, but 10, I find 10 quite comfortable for me, or 12, as some people would say. Another thing that you can do with your password is to use a paraphrase. And the paraphrase is now recognized now as a more powerful password than having the capital and small letters and numbers and the symbol. So for instance, if you have a password area that allows you to put in more than 20 characters, you can type a phrase. For instance, this phrase says, "I love my dog Ginger so much." And that makes that password so much stronger than anything else you can use. You can also check your passwords to see how strong they are at different websites on the internet. And even you can check to see if your password has been compromised. For instance, if it has been stolen and somebody knows about it. There are websites where you can go and then you can be able to verify that your password has been whether it's safe or not. And that's what we're going to look at right now. So there's this website, for instance, which says, "How secure is your password?" It's called Password Monster. And when you go there, all you have to do is just type your password. So when you go in there, you just type it in. And my password in this case, let's see, I'm going to show my password because I trust everybody here. And I'm going to put my password, which is hello. And then you see that it tells me straight away that it is very weak. It is lowercase only. And the time it will take for a hacker to be able to crack it, or a computer program that was made by a hacker, can be cracked within 0 seconds. And then here, if I go and I add another word, it tells me that it's going to take 12 minutes to crack the password. And then if I keep going and I say, "Oh, how are you?" You see that the time changes, 60,000 years. Now, of course, when you are using a computer, 60,000 years can go pretty fast, but it shows that this phrase here is much, much stronger than if I had just put the hello, or if I had just put less in it, like, hello, and then I put a special character, or I put a question mark. So using a phrase is actually really, really good. And then, of course, if you want to check to see if your password has been stolen, there's this website called Have I Been Pwned? And you can go there. It's one of many websites, and even on your iPhone, you can just check automatically without having to do anything. You just go into passwords, and then you make sure at the top there's something called compromised passwords, where you can check. And here, if you put in your email address, it will tell you whether it is found on the dark web or not. So let me just type in. Let's try. Yeah, I have another email address here, vusomoyana@gmail.com, and let's have a look and see. Oh no, it has been pwned. So look at that. That email address has appeared in one data breach. So it shows that I used this program called Gravata, and I had an account with them. And so it shows that there was an incident where somebody actually, these hackers actually got into Gravata, the company, and then they were able to find my email and be able to search it. So you can search your email address and just make sure that, once you find that there's something that happened to it, you can change the password and make it safer. And also just if you have websites like, you saw that I logged into Gravata, I'm going to unsubscribe with them or close my account with them so that I won't be exposed anymore. So these are things that you can do just to make sure that your password is safe all the time. Another thing that you can do with the passwords is to set up two-factor authentication. And you'll notice that with many organizations nowadays, they ask you to have two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication. And multi-factor authentication is simply when you have to perform two or more steps to gain access to an account. And it might be that when you go to a website and you want to log in, you put in your email address, you put in your password, and then you have to do a third thing. You have to put your thumb, you have to put your face, or you have to put in a code, a text message that is sent to your to your phone. So if somebody hacks into or steals your information, let's say, for instance, somebody steals your email address and password. So in this case, they can go on the left, they can just log in. They can put in the email address and password, and then they can click sign in and then log in. But if you have two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication, they need to have your cell phone, the one in the middle, in order to be able to log in, because a code will be sent to the cell phone, and then you need to enter that 6-digit number or letters in order to log in. So this is a great system. And as you saw, according to Microsoft, it's not me who said it, they said it can block 99% of all password safety issues. And that's from Microsoft. It's not from Vuso. 99% of all password issues. And if you use Aeroplan, you will know already that when you try to log into Aeroplan, it's compulsory now. You need to have it set up, and they will send a code for you to log in. So some companies are already doing this and have it set up as well. Okay, so the last 2 or 3 things that we're going to be talking about are public Wi-Fi. So if you go to the mall and you go to the mall and then you access the Wi-Fi, or you go to a restaurant, or you go on public transport, or you go to Pearson International Airport, there's always, or even the library, right? There's always free Wi-Fi around us. But when you log into free Wi-Fi or public Wi-Fi, there are always terms and conditions there that tell you that what you are doing can be seen by other people. So you want to avoid doing online banking and online shopping or anything where you have to put in sensitive information using public Wi-Fi. It's very important because sometimes they will be watching you and you don't even know it. And in addition, sometimes you have to be careful before you log into that network to make sure that is the correct one. So if you go to Pearson International Airport, and let's just say the Wi-Fi is called Pearson Wi-Fi, you want to make sure that you are clicking into the correct one. If you see another one that says Pearson Toronto Wi-Fi, then you might be going into the wrong one that has been created by hackers. So you have to be very, very careful. And lastly, if something happens and you become a victim, please don't be shy. We have to speak out if something happens to us. Because like I said at the beginning, these guys are really, really smart. and it doesn't matter whether you are a university professor or what, they can still get you. So it's nothing to be ashamed about. We have to make sure that we take measures to protect ourselves, some of the things that we have been talking about. And we also have to make sure that we contact our bank if there's money involved, or you gave them your credit card, even if they didn't take anything. If there's something that you feel might affect your credit, then you have to contact, TransUnion and also Equifax, or let's say you gave them your driver's license or something like that, or your SIN number. You want to make sure that you call Service Canada or Service Ontario and then talk to them as well. You can also report these crimes online when they happen. So for instance, if you are in Toronto, you can go to the Toronto Police website, and there's an online form where you can report these crimes, and you just fill it in. If you are in Mississauga and places like that, you also have the Peel Police Safety Tips Seniors, and you can log into there. There's a place where you can make an online report. So it's good if we report these people so that the authorities know about it. And if it is something where they took over your email address, or they took over your Facebook account, or they took over your phone, you want to make sure that you inform your family and friends so that they won't receive phone calls or emails thinking that it's you, and then they can be tricked as well. So we have to make sure that we report it in order for us to not only protect ourselves and get the police to look for these people, but also that we protect our family and friends. Okay, so thank you for having me. Alan, I'll send you the handout.
Yes,
and
please.
If anyone has any questions later on, please feel free to just send it to Alan, and he can send the questions to me, and I'll be happy to answer those questions for you.
Another great presentation here. And I want to thank everybody for coming. Again, next month we'll have something, and we'll see everybody later.